To my brain, my heart, sports talk with Mike. I want to send my deepest condolences, my thoughts, my prayers, and my heart to all families, friends, anyone affected from the bombings, the Boston Marathon. What these people did, it was a senseless act, and there's no need of that in this world. 3 deaths, including an 8-year-old boy, over 150 injured. There's no need for anything like that to happen at all, especially on a joyous day with families out. It's something that I find extremely wrong with this world, and I'll never understand it. But I'm hoping just this all stops, and I hope to the families and everyone affected that God watches over you, and I hope something's done about this. I really do. Now, for today's episode, I'm going to go through a couple players, well, athletes that have kind of fallen from grace, that were high, that were incredible in their sport, and just fell down flat on their bums and on their asses. And also going to give movie titles to some sports teams. I'm going to kick it off with Darryl Strawberry. He played for the New York Mets, New York Yankees, I don't care who else. He won the NL Rookie of the Year award in 1983. Had 26 home runs. He's won 4 World Series titles, 8 All-Star appearances, but he really struggled mightily with his drug and alcohol addiction. Now, imagine how incredible he would have been had he been sober. There's also that possibility that he played incredible because he was on the drugs and drinking. Some people play better when they're high, or like have a little bit of extra things in their system. They play better. But I'd rather him not have these addictions and possibly see what he could have become. He could have been one of the greatest of all time. You don't know. I mean, with that in your system, it's hard to tell. Marion Jones, in 2000, in the 2000 Olympics, she won 5 medals. Then everything came out that she was involved with the whole Balco steroid scandal. She was stripped of all her medals and was sentenced to 6 months in prison for perjury. So lying to Congress that she didn't use steroids, and you can't do that. You definitely can't do that. And really, since that she played a year for, I think it was the Shock in the WNBA. And since then, it's never been the same for Marion Jones. Ryan Leaf, he was drafted 2nd overall behind Peyton Manning. Now, according to reports, he was a conceited jackass. He thought highly of himself. He really felt he was the best in the game, and he didn't even play in the game. He was rude to the media. He wasn't friendly whatsoever. And even when he got on the field, he was just terrible. He wasn't anything. One of the biggest busts, if not the biggest bust in NFL history. Maybe Jamarcus Russell, I don't know, but he was really terrible. He's actually he's now serving a 5-year prison sentence for breaking and entering because of addictions. So that's what happened to Ryan Leaf. That's just, he was supposed to have this incredible career and didn't. Marcus Vick, the brother of Michael Vick, he followed in his older brother's footsteps. He was an elite quarterback. He was then charged with 2 others with statutory rape. He was suspended, but then brought back the very next year. In the 2006 Gator Bowl, he stomped in Elvis Dumerville's head. Didn't really care too much about it. He did whatever he wanted to do. Like the amount of traffic violations this guy has is through the roof. I don't think anyone has ever accumulated this many violations. He didn't really care at all. He was just, who cares? I'm going to the next level, baby. He wasn't drafted. He signed a contract with the Miami Dolphins, spent a year with them, and that was about it. Goodbye, Marcus Vick. And the last one I'm going to go through, Maurice Clarett. He probably could not believe this. So he won a national championship in 2002. 2003, he settled the entire year for falsifying a police report. Then he dropped out of school, planning to get into the NFL anyway. He was drafted by my Denver Broncos in the 3rd round, so they gave him a chance. Didn't even make out of training camp though, so really a waste of a draft pick. He was twice arrested for suspicion of armed robbery in 2006. Later that year, he was pulled over with, get this, 2 Japanese swords, 2 loaded handguns, an open bottle of vodka, and an AK-47. What was this guy thinking? Thank God the police officers pulled him over, because you don't know what he would have done. Buddy, you have 2 hands. You can't hold a sword and a gun in one hand, a sword, a gun, and another gun in another hand, and hold the vodka in your mouth. Like, what was the point of that? I couldn't believe it. Apparently he's doing better now, but from that, wow, that's just insane. That's psycho. It's like, what is the world? Like, what makes these people do these things? I don't get it. I'm trying not to get upset, because I want to yell, I want to cry. It's really disturbing for me. I don't get these things. I had to include some type of lightness into my episode for today, because it's a down episode for me. So I went through 2 teams from each sport. Of course, from the 4 major sports, I always do that. If you watch my show, you know it. I went through and picked 2 teams and gave them a movie title of a movie that's come out since probably 2000. I don't think I went any earlier than 2000. So we'll kick it off with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I gave them the movie title Inception, because it's a dream. Like, I can't believe that they're in a playoff. Like, they're not just in a playoff, but they're one of the top teams in the NHL. Their goaltending, even their defense has kicked up. It's like they're playing the best hockey out of all the NHL teams. I don't get it. It's surreal to me. I really, like, I wonder how the players feel. Like, do they feel like they're just in a dream that's put together by some mastermind? Like, come on, that's insane. The Toronto Maple Leafs in a playoff picture, one of the top teams. Come on now. Next up, New England Patriots. I gave them the movie title Body of Lies. Now, that movie, this one actually had Leonardo DiCaprio. Inception obviously had Leonardo DiCaprio as well, and Ellen Page of Halifax, Nova Scotia. But I also chose Body of Lies for the New England Patriots, Leonardo DiCaprio, where he's kind of doing the dirty work for the United States, but he's getting mixed. He doesn't know who's on the truth, whether it's the States or the government in Jordan. It's the exact same thing. Tom Brady's Leonardo DiCaprio, where does his thing as a quarterback, but Bill Belichick is a cheater. And if you ever noticed, I don't care if they've gone back to the Super Bowl, they haven't won a Super Bowl since they were caught in that Spygate scandal. So, you don't know what to do with it. So, Body of Lies, it's a lying organization. Sacramento Kings, I gave them the movie title The Road. I think it's Viggo Mortensen. Very hard name to pronounce, I'm going to be honest with you. And that movie, the world's just come to an end, pretty much like an apocalypse, and they're just trying to find a home. Just like the Sacramento Kings, they need to make a move. So I felt that was pretty fitting. And San Diego Padres, I gave them the movie title The Crazies, with Josh Duhamel, in which drinking water pretty much turned this little town's minds to mush, and they just want to kill everybody. Now, I'm not saying all San Diego Padres want to kill everybody, but with the incident involving Carlos Quinn and Zach Greinke, the guy looked like a little bit crazy. And the interviews after the whole episode, it just felt like I was watching a Psycho. It was actually a little bit, it wasn't scary, but I couldn't believe like the way he was talking. I thought it was strange. So, crazies. I gave, let's see here, Chicago Blackhawks. I gave them the movie title Unstoppable, with Denzel Washington and I think it's Chris Pine. It's the train there that it's an unmanned train, and it's just flying. But I gave obviously the Chicago Blackhawks, what is it, 22-game winning streak, I believe, 22-23, halted by my Colorado Avalanche. I was pumped about that. But, I mean, they were just unsolved. No losses in regulation. They were just an incredible team. I was thinking about Pittsburgh Penguins because they won 14 straight games with no losses at all. But I went with the Blackhawks because I was really surprised that they came out of the gate like that, and they're still one of the top teams in the NHL, if not the top team. So there you go, Blackhawks. The New York Yankees, I gave them the movie title Brooklyn's Finest. It had Ethan Hawke, Don Cheadle. It was basically just bad cops, and in the end, pretty much all the bad cops die. And the Yankees are kind of like the bad guys in baseball, in Major League Baseball. They got Alex Rodriguez making $30 million, but he's suntanning down in Miami. So you get all these guys that are just making so much money, but they're not really bringing in titles like they should be. I mean, when you're getting that type of money, you should be bringing in a couple trophies. Come on now, Yankees. And Miami Heat. This is why I didn't give the Miami Heat Unstoppable. I gave them the movie title Catch Me If You Can. Again, Leonardo DiCaprio. He obviously had a great career. He picked really good movies. It was a true story about a 19-year-old who swindled millions, posing as what's it called? Airplane fly. I can't even a pilot. Sorry, an airplane pilot, and in the military and all that. And they just swindled millions of dollars. Now, the Miami Heat, they got a lot of money, but Catch Me If You Can, they had like 27 straight wins, very fast paced, and just no one didn't seem anyone was going to halt it. It just felt like it was. I didn't think they were going to lose for a while, and but I think the Chicago Bulls stopped the Miami Heat. I like that. Really like that. And the New York Jets. I gave them the movie title. It's kind of a funny story with Zach Galifianakis and other people. It's just the movie title itself. Just the whole issue that they had last year. They brought in Tim Tebow, didn't even use him. And it just, in a nutshell, when Mark Sanchez ran into the backside of his offensive lineman and just dropped, and the fumble was recovered for a touchdown. That's just, it's kind of a funny story like that. I can't believe, like, the whole season are just ridiculous. It was beyond funny. I felt like I was watching a movie every time I watched one of their games. For reals. But that's it for today's episode. Again, I want to send all my heart, everything that I possibly can to everyone involved in the Boston Marathon. And I hope you guys do as well. That's it for my brain, my heart, sports talk with Mike. The Colorado Avalanche lost last night 4-3 in overtime, which gave them a point, which I like that because I don't want them to have the first pick. I want Nathan McKinnon. If I don't get McKinnon, I want Drouin. I don't want Seth Jones. And boys, Jonathan Woodland, you're coming in 2 days, buddy. We got to get them Coronas. Let's go.